Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for joining. And I really have to give my respect to Bill, Sumi, and Paul who put this together. I'm amazed how many people we are. I'm amazed how many good teachers we have, how many good lectures we had, and I met some incredible, beautiful people here. So before we start the presentation, I just briefly share with you how I got into wellness. I had stage 4 cancer as a 30-year-old young boy. I was manager of the Ritz-Carlton in Hong Kong. I thought I had, as somebody said earlier, all the success in the world, and then suddenly a stage 4 diagnosis really pulls you down. Through 2 years of chemo, radio, macrobiotic diet, yoga, meditation, and many other healing realms which I utilized in order to get well again, I discovered one thing because I visited many sanatoriums, I visited many hospitals, and I visited many wellness resorts. I found wellness resorts being not on the cutting edge of hospitality, and I went to clinics we were not on a cutting edge of wellness, and therefore I really thought to combine this, and therefore I subsequently created the Mandarin Oriental Spa and Wellness Division in early 2000, and then I went on my own. One of the projects you may know was Ananda in the Himalayas was the first one. This was bought out by Mandarin Oriental. That's how I joined the board of Mandarin Oriental, and that's how the journey really continued. Now, today I'm going to talk a little bit about more bricks and mortar. I talk about money. It's not the philosophical component, which many of our earlier speakers have done so well. So I'm going to talk about a journey of different projects, which all have to do with wellness throughout the world. Before we start this, I want to talk a little bit about the size of the industry. If you look at the size of the industry, you can see that wellness is 6% of global GDP. When I started, Ananda in the Himalayas was a $5 billion global business in 1999. This is 2024. So it has dramatically increased, as Ruben very well presented. And you can see fashion, pharmaceutical, sports, music, and so far. It's a much smaller industry. So we are truly part of a very powerful, very strong industry, which is really growing many-fold. Briefly to our company, we create wellness spaces, we operate wellness spaces, we consult on wellness spaces all around the world. You can see in all the countries, I think we are in 48 countries right now. We have created over $4 billion worth of wellness spaces. We work with many of the luxury hotel companies on the wellness front, on the spa design, feasibility, strategy front, but we also work with sovereign funds. We work on the bottom right, you can see, and I will show them to you, some of the biggest wellness projects around the world. I'm going to show you a picture of Amala. It's a $22 billion wellness zone, which is under development as we speak. So there's really some tremendous stuff happening around the world, and I'm going to show you some visuals there. Behind the scenes, sometimes when big acquisitions are being made, so when Intercontinental was buying Six Senses, I was the advisor to Intercontinental. When KSL sold Miraval, we were on the other side. So sometimes we're on the buyer, on the seller side. So we have a lot of industry data and aware of what's happening there. Now I really want to go into what's happening around the world. And by the way, this is one of the next up-and-coming wellness resorts here in Thailand. So, but if you really look at statistics, you can see we're an industry which is doing very well. We really don't have to do much because the industry is prospering, right? So if we do the right thing, we all can be part of something where the macroeconomics really pushing us already in the right direction. Now, let's look at the biggest wellness project in the world. This is Amla. This is 90-hectare site, 22 billion for the entire project. The wellness resort in itself is $1.2 billion, which are 3 resorts. And I'm going to show you some details here. Oh, it doesn't really come out. But here you can see the master plan. So the master plan is anchored by a wellness village. The wellness village, this is retail, shops, restaurants, and so far, by a wellness research institute where 24 different academics will create the latest research into food, movement modalities, and different elements within wellness. It has residences there. And then if you look at the hospitality component, you have a family-friendly component, you have an adults-only component, you have the second La Paris in the world, and I talk about the real clinic La Paris in the world, together with a clinical center here
with operating in other medical facilities. So this is fully under construction. We were involved in all the designs, and I'm going to show you some details of this. So if you do big projects, you have to look at the culture, the medical environment in which you're really in. So we all talk about homeopathy, which is Central Europe, Ayurveda, which is India, Chinese medicine, which is China. Here in Thailand, the Thai Tourism Association and the Mahipol University really put some great information how Thailand got its really old medical system, which is fabulous, which is a combination of Ayurveda and Chinese medicine and how it came together. But nobody really talked about Islamic medicine or the medicine of the Arabian Peninsula. So what we did in 2009 to 2012,
we researched with 9 researchers around the world the healing modalities of 26 countries where Islam or the Arabian world is really at home. And out of this, we created a Bible, which then was peer-reviewed, which was created by professors from Oxford and Columbia, and then peer-reviewed by Harvard University. So if you do big projects, it's very interesting and very important that you consider the roots of the respective countries, the culture of the respective countries, the food habits of the respective countries, and don't become too generic, because the world becomes more and more specialized. Now, if you look at the architecture, we can see here, we looked at the historical architecture of different villages and how the villages were created. Because when you create a wellness village, you want to understand how the ancient villages in that part of the world are getting created. And if you look at this, this is an example of the adult-only design, and then here we can see how modern design interprets this. So there's ancient historical architecture, modern interpreted, and really this is a very easy walk through a beautiful park, which will become the adults-only wellness resort in Amala. Now, here on the top left, this is Clinique La Paris. So after Switzerland, that's the second Clinique La Paris. So this is not the little pop-ups, which are very good, the longevity centers, which are very good. This is the full-fledged wellness resort. Smallest room, 75 square meter, 110 rooms. Here you can see the entrance on the bottom left. On the bottom right, you can see the entrance from the other side. And you can see Zaha Hadid gave us even a beautiful marina at the entrance of this. So this will be a cutting-edge, a leading wellness realm, 92 hectares in total, 1.2 billion in investments, 3 different specialized wellness resorts for consumers. Now I'm going to go a bit into utopia. Now, I'll be honest to you, we created the strategy, we created the interior spaces and the journeys of this. I cannot really identify myself with cutting-edge cold architecture like this, but I can tell you the bottom left here, this is going to be the Boston University, come Harvard, come PIF collaboration on a next generation wellness resort. So, you know, there's everything for everybody. You don't have to like every architecture. Medically, it will be very interesting. Architecturally, I think it's a bit more questionable. Last but not least, and then I close Saudi Arabia and we're going to walk somewhere else. Here's a project where the PIF board wants to create 3 wellness resorts, and we created those 3 wellness resorts for them: the mountain, the forest, and the ocean. And the idea is you are actually checking in only one time. You have different medical treatments, different regimes, and different foods in the different parts of the hotel, but you make also an entire journey through 3 very, very different physical spaces: mountain, forest, and the ocean. Now we're going to go into a very different direction. This is Switzerland. So this is a project which is built 100% out of wood. The entire hotel is built out of wood. It's the Appenzeller house, the Appenzell. So there's 2 areas in Switzerland for the people who have investments here, is Zug and Appenzell. This is where you can make deals with the mayor of the town, how much money you bring in and what your tax regime is, right? And in both locations, you can pay around 10-12% tax. So there are a lot of affluent people residing there. So what a fintech entrepreneur did, he was 38 years old, he sold his company for $3.5 billion, and he created this entire village there. If you look at Appenzeller House, what we did there is, so we took a 16th century building, the red one here. that will house 22 different rooms, and it will host the biggest organic wine cellar in the world of 5,000 bottles of organic wines. Interesting. We took an 18th century building. We took the old post office, we took the old butcher and the old baker, and then we built those 3 brand new wood installations, and this entire thing is going to be the Appenzeller House and a totally wood constructed, re-energized historical buildings, and they're all purely created out of wood. There's no concrete there, except on the floor, the ground. The buildings are all made out of pure wood. Interesting, very different. Now we're going to go to Azerbaijan. Azerbaijan wants to revive their tremendous holistic hospital-grade mineral springs. And we were engaged by the Office of the President of Azerbaijan. And outside the city of Baku, we are at this moment creating this building here, which will be a revival of ancient mineral springs in Azerbaijan. Now we're going to go to south of Rome. So this is approximately an hour south of Rome. It's a Palazzo Fucci. It's an historical building. It's a merger of ancient springs meeting with cell therapy. So it's a combination, and they wanted to focus on this. So they took an old courthouse, actually, in the city of Fucci, and which is a village an hour south of Rome. And they are creating there, or they have created, with the help of our company, a wellness enclave, which has a mixture of cell therapy and water. The first big client who came there was Oprah Winfrey, then Hillary Clinton, and many others. So it has done its deed, and it's doing rather well. Now we're going to go to Beijing. Very different realm, very different spot. So here you can see 45,000 people living in this development here. Living because this is all banks and headquarters of international companies, and those people tend to work many more hours than many of us. And in order to understand that there's a very high-polar, very intense work environment in those 45,000 people, Schweder, Cathay Pacific owner, we created here an 18,000 square meter envelope of wellness. So the Indigo project in Beijing on the 4th ring road, between the 4th and the 5th ring road, will have an 18,000 square meters. So just to give you a size, 18,000 square meters, approximately the size of a 150-room hotel. So there's a huge amount of space where the 45,000 people, but also, of course, outsiders from within Beijing, have their latest Pilates, yoga, fitness, thermal, longevity, beauty, dining, nutrition facilities, cutting edge in China. Now we're going to go to Samui, Paris Saint-Germain. So this is wellness as well. This is for young people, soccer enthusiasts who want to work there and vacation there. And okay, and now let's look at the people there. Young people who are coming from all over the world, adults, families. This is wellness too. And now I come into closing. This is the first wellness community in Eastern Europe. Around 150 accommodations and approximately 150 homes being created there. Here's some incredible vistas. And then we go briefly to Bali, a wellness village in Bali, totally sustainable, entirely built out of sustainable bamboo. And the same will be in a sister hotel here in Samui when this opens next year. And this is the plant-based restaurant at the entrance. So in closing, I find this exciting that we have Dragonfly here. There's many, many sports, fitness, and related functions around the world where really wellness has penetrated the music and other industries and where wellness is center part. And I think we are very lucky that we are part of this. And once again, thank you for the organizers to make this happen. Have a good day.